that we are, and I'm just so happy to be here. Of course, it's going to be Kilo Miles leading in on all the action, and I am Captain Ahsoka, going to be your co-host and commentator for today. And already, before we can even get the introductions done,
however, when iTheta gets the hit, then it's Nick Jam popped into the air, and that's no good. Especially when you're knocked off stage. Nick Jam trying to recover, going high, but gets knocked out of the air by the forward air, swatted away. Can he get it again? Waits for the air dodge, but he misses the up B.
Ooh, already you can see Ken trying to get right back to work, but they're in the red. They're in the critical percentages. One solid hit, and honestly, from Ike, nearly every hit is solid, as that will just about do it. It's the up air to get the final stock. Oh, nice forward throw off of the edge. Not going to be able to confirm, though, as yet another final elimination goes the way of iTheta. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 up, 3 down. FSU take the dub.
Oh, Helix, I would have liked to see him press that because you can't get that height off the wall, and Mux is going to be able to take advantage of it. And I mean, we've seen flip resets, we've seen ceiling challenges, and we just get the basic old school air dribble to go right into the mat. It's going to be Helix with the dribble away. Bumps 11 out of the way as well. That might be a goal. Helix over the top. Great downfield pass, and they're going to take advantage of the space created by this demolition. Able to get that one away. Helix going to get a pass back to the midfield, looking for Pancake. Going for the double tap. Squishy save attempt. Not going to be there. Here's Helix off the side, and a forced own goal once again. Concord's going to take the lead. And Pancake's not able to read that as Helix gets a monster dunk here. Can you turn around on it? He can. Helix.
Just realizing this ball's got to go somewhere and always knows. Now Matt Mux down bottom. Oh, brutal right there. Oxygen. Okay.
84?
82. My goodness.
Okay,
I could not have been farther off. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me.
As this one might find the back of the net, and it does again.
Boy.
ET, let's give him 4. You know, we're talking about everything else.
14 seconds, maybe in somebody's dreams. There's another goal down bottom. 7 score differential here.
Zarya choice that V-Snipes is sitting on is going to help bring St. Francis to victory, but already Ohio Northern is going to get into the bases. Millions taking out their counterpart, and Zephyr now looking towards any more targets to be found, but the way they're falling, it's going to be basically just like that. It's already over before it even begins. And they do that with 5%. Almost everyone in St. Francis caught inside of that Earth Shatter. The immortality field may have come up, but the damage, you cannot survive through it. No one able to touch from St. Francis. And Ohio Northern here, Jag is going to take map 1 of Nepal 2-0, 100-0 each round. V-Snipes, put your supports in great positions where they can not worry about damage but still be able to get the healing. This is crazy from V-Snipes. They wanted to go in and try to meet the amplification matrix, but instead gonna meet their death while Harry is having the time of their life on this Reinhardt.
It'd be a whole different sort of fight, but now they're going to try to go for a similar approach but go a different way. But Harry knows. Harry's able to spear them off the map.
Wow.
Continued chaos.
We're seeing these things really doing the world's work on themselves, but Balder and this overclock 2 already looking to make that 3. Another pick here potentially. Really wanted to get rid of V-Snipes. Doesn't need the overclock, and now one final target to go. Caro assassinated. Boulders.
For a full one, at the very least, the Lucio trying their best to make it there. I do believe they'll at least get a little bit of a contest. But I mean, you can see where Harry is all the way in the spawn, and there's no more chances for St. Francis. Ohio Northern with the clean 3-0 to send them home with a smile.
But yeah, I'm just surprised that the Swain didn't end up moving a little bit sooner. His now, Jana, no flash.
He'll flash, auto attack, first blood. Froggy is the one to pick that one up, and Evelyn Bot is in the area. Descent does drop the Rift Guard. They're going to look to engage. It's going to be a Cataclysm getting dropped down, but Vagar got pulled into the Cataclysm, which could be trouble.
Ooh.
Down goes Evelyn Bot, down goes the Vagar as well. Hugs Descent and the support on the one side, but they're going to be the ones to get engaged on. Ultimate coming off for the Malphite onto the Vagar, but the Vagar is still okay for right now. He's going to try to flash the rest of his team as Evelyn Bot is on the look. The Kaylin was left all alone on the backside, and no free Hugs is now left all alone with everybody else from Farmingdale.
That's game!
Both of them are level 4. No Zillion bombs are available right now, which means French Delta Force is going to be able to get in. There's the flash, but the flag and drag lands, and El Unicornio in a lot of trouble. French Delta Force not able to get the kill. That one's going to go over to Huracan. Vagar
he's
doesn't
dead.
quite know where he is. Has spotted him out. Here comes the Jarvan over the wall. Multiple members over the wall now as they're trying to get as much damage as possible. French Delta Force able to get the first kill. Now, bearing down on to the Xayah. They are going to get revived by the Zillion, but weak side. It just means they're a sitting duck to give more kills.
There's nothing. Yeah, they quite literally.
Malphite getting in there on multiple members here. Weak side is now starting to join the fight here. Somebody's in stasis, somebody's resurrecting, but it doesn't just matter. They're just all meant to die to Vagar. It's a double kill for weak side, a double kill for French Delta Force. They get a kill back.
Leave the old man alone!
But they are going to be able to close out onto the Zillion. The cherry on top for Froggy and Farmingdale State College.
Holding on to this stock at 160.
Oh yeah, both of these guys are decently heavyweight. Gonna be seeing very large percentages. And the back ear from that fat mansion to take it right there.
I see it too. Oh, good forward air tipper there. Hope should be able to recover from this unless you get countered. Dags with a huge opener there.
But Splat says, listen, I need you to get right back off stage. It's nice that you want to get here. You gotta go.
And the block, I think, actually helps Splat there. Again, falling because the second hit of that.
I didn't get to show out last time the way I wanted to. I'll do it.
He's all warmed up now, but he will drop that stock this time around. Gordo up tilt, a week where they went to set number 3 and fell in that previous series.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, what a down here. So you can kind of slowly build up damage. And then your armored move will not connect with all the hits, so you won't get the kill. And then you die. Tries to go for a very early up B kill right there. And your shield looks like a Skittle, and that will be it. The forward smash should be able to take it and hope with the JV3 against Splat.
That I think if you can use Milkman to shut down a B rush, you're pretty happy with that, especially if they're rushing right in. Mental Athlete catches 2, looking for more. Chris that will not be outdone. Make it 3 for Mental Athlete. Yeah, that was more. You're more than happy with that trade.
And that means no KJ utility either, no extra peaks. And there's a quick trade down. Hookah wins between the Omens. It's Ummo and uh-oh for Mars Hill, as that's gonna be a Brooklyn College first map win. Players, just 1 shot left, probably 30 HP combined as Noodle gets traded. It's all up to Chris. Headshot necessary for Excite as he's trying to dance around the side, doesn't know where he's coming from. And Chris just barely secures it. I think 1 more second of stalling.
Yeah.
And that's a Mars Hill round, so absolutely brutal. The concussion come through, flashpoints as well. This is an all-out brawl.
So much utility.
Ramp coverage. And everyone's here, and it's all looking good for Brooklyn, maintaining that weapons advantage, just rushing on in, and that's a flawless in this map point round. Suddenly surrounded, I think got shut down by a Rolling Thunder, and sure, Guyper's looking the wrong way, but that is a perfect defending half for Mars Hill for the win. Shot down, and that's gonna be an extra kill from the blast, and now it's just Guyper left after a flurry of kills. And no time to waste. There's too much on the clock. Lots of damage dealt, but only one taken down.
Trades on one on each. Knives finally come out, though. I can hear them. Didn't look like they caught anything, though. There's the flank. Axite with a stringer. Doesn't find anything now. But trades coming through. One on each. Chris continue to trade 2-2.
Oh,
coming
no.
down. Finally, the picks on Pixie.
Oh!
That's it. MHU stays alive.
Another moment where you're worried for him. Polo Spring gets that first blood. 2 members left. We've seen August come alive when moments required, but now with worse weapons and not quite the angle. That is a 13-10 win.
And, well, we're already underway.
That we are, and I'm just so happy to be here. Of course, it's going to be Kilo Miles leading in on all the action, and I am Captain Ahsoka, going to be your co-host and commentator for today. And already, before we can even get the introductions done,
However, when iTheta gets the hit, then it's Nick Jam popped into the air, and that's no good. Especially when you're knocked off stage. Nick Jam trying to recover, going high, but gets knocked out of the air by the forward air, swatted away. Can he get it again? Waits for the air dodge, but he misses the up B.
Already you can see Ken trying to get right back to work, but they're in the red. They're in the critical percentages. One solid hit, and honestly, from Ike, nearly every hit is solid, as that will just about do it. It's the up air to get the final stock. Oh, nice forward throw off of the edge. Not going to be able to confirm, though, as yet another final elimination goes the way of iTheta. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 up, 3 down. FSU take the dub.
Oh, Helix. I would have liked to see him press that because you can't get that height off the wall, and Mux is going to be able to take advantage of it. And I mean, we've seen flip resets, we've seen ceiling challenges, and we just get the basic old school air dribble to go right into the net. It's going to be Helix with the dribble away. Bumps 11 out of the way as well. That might be a goal. Helix over the top. Great downfield pass, and they're going to take advantage of the space created by this demolition. Able to get that one away. Helix going to get a pass back to the midfield, looking for Pancake. Going for the double tap. Squishy save attempt, not going to be there. Here's Helix off the side, and a forced own goal once again. Concord's going to take the lead. And Pancake's not able to read that as Helix gets a monster dunk here. Can you turn around on it? He can. Helix.
Just realizing this ball's got to go somewhere and always knows. Now Mux down bottom. Oh, brutal right there. Oxygen. Okay.
84?
82. My goodness.
Okay,
I could not have been farther off. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me.
As this one might find the back of the net, and it does again.
Boy.
ET, let's give him 4. You know, we're talking about everything else.
14 seconds, maybe in somebody's dreams. There's another goal down bottom. 7 score differential here.
Zarya choice that V-Snipes is sitting on is going to help bring St. Francis to victory, but already Ohio Northern is going to get into the bases. Millions taking out their counterpart, and Zephyr now looking towards any more targets to be found, but the way they're falling, it's going to be basically just like that. It's already over before it even begins. And they do. Now with 5%, almost everyone in St. Francis caught inside of that Earth Shatter. The Immortality Field may have come up, but the damage, you cannot survive through it. No one able to touch from St. Francis. And Ohio Northern here, Jag is going to take map 1 of DePaul 2-0, 100-0 each round. V-Snipes, put your supports in great positions where they can not worry about damage, but still be able to get the healing. This is crazy from V-Snipes. They wanted to go in and try to meet the amplification matrix, but instead gonna meet their death while Harry is having the time of their life on this Reinhardt.
It'd be a whole different sort of fight, but now they're going to try to go for a similar approach, but go a different way. But Harry knows. Harry's able to spear them off the map.
Wow.
Continued chaos.
We're seeing these things really doing the world's work on themselves, but Balder and this overclock 2 already looking to make that 3. Another pick here potentially. Really wanted to get rid of V-Snipes. Doesn't need the overclock, and now one final target to go. Caro assassinated. Boulders.
For a full one, at the very least, the Lucio trying their best to make it there. I do believe they'll at least get a little bit of a contest. But I mean, you can see where Harry is all the way in the spawn, and there's no more chances for St. Francis. Ohio Northern with a clean 3-0 to send them home with a smile.
Welcome one and all, and rejoice Rocket League fans. This is ECAC's Rocket League season, week number 1. My name is FireJ. I'm here with Vaudable, and we are thrilled. We are stoked to get the Rocket League action underway. Vaudable, these teams, these players have been waiting during the offseason between the semesters. They're ready to get back at it again.
That they are. We have Florida International University facing off against Nichols College Green Team, and this is going to be an intense matchup because FIU in the past year have only lost a single series, and in the last semester only dropped 3 individual games, took the entire conference for their division by storm and won everything in the playoffs. So FIU, you got to expect big things from them. Nichols College, they kind of took a back seat. They weren't able to really show up for some of their matches, so this is our first look at them in quite some time, so I'm curious on how they're going to perform, Pyro.
Listen, the expectations, we don't know where to put them, right? As you said, for Nichols College Green, but they're pretty high for FIU. So can they step to that mark? Can they exceed those expectations and break through the ceiling? We got game 1 with a best of 7 to find out.
That we do. Best of 7, Champions Field. Going to be a great time to start off the season strong and see how the competition in the Elite Division 2 is going to be here. So we'll see exactly how things will go down. No Gravity, kind of breaking our overlay a little bit with the long name, but that's okay. Strawberry Kiwi, I wonder what the reference is there for the name for them as well. But nonetheless, still pretty solid here from FIU, expecting them to take the charge for that first goal, Pyro.
Whoa, and they might just do that. No, Gravity does it indeed. That's quite the shot to start off with. We got the double tap off the backboard, the good corner pass, and FIU, they're linking up well.
Beautiful looks already from FIU to start out strong in the opening 33 seconds. Great assist as well by Kaizinho, putting that one all set up perfectly. Zernite doing the best they can, to support things. I've been there, 22 points to their name, but still more than the entire Nichols College squad, who had 4, 4, and 8 for their score up to that point in time. So they really haven't had much control, but as I say that, Troy able to put on a simple shot, open net opportunity, counteract, and tie things up.
You want them to rack up the numbers? Well, that's probably the best way to do it. Open look there from Troy off the backboard mistake. It takes a minute sometimes for the consistency to pave its way, for the strong touches to be made in those situations. FIU got to make sure they get contact on that ball, especially on approaches like this. Pelosa looking threatening with that reset.
Solid looks from both squads so far. Doesn't matter if they aren't able to get too many touches on the ball, and as long as they get a straight shot towards the net. 100% shooting percentage for both these teams up to this point in time, making sure that they time their shots perfectly and make sure that they don't miss any chance that is given to them as well. FIU dominated the first 30 seconds, but Nichols College bounced right back 10 seconds later. We do see No Grav star the show so far, looking for their second, but no dice.
Yeah, that 100% shot is decreasing just a little bit, but that also means that they're starting to get that possession prowess. They're starting to get more chances, crashing the boards, getting the rebounds. Great 50-50s as well as Kaizinho steals some boost, works the corner, reset there from No Gravity. And I like what FIU is trying to do. A lot of it is those passing plays, whether it's from the sidewall to the midfield or off the corner. FIU are looking to link up to get that second goal, but gotta work from their other side now.
Loving the rotations from both these teams too. They're not afraid to really push up with 2 players at a time, but also know that they gotta have their bases covered, secure that boost to the midfield, and make sure that they have something to work with to go back based on these counterattacks that are happening. Zernite could have gotten that one through a little bit too high for their comfort, and they will leave this one up from Kaizinho. Demo in the midfield, though, does open up some space and an opportunity. There goes the goal for Pelosa. A nice lead already for Nichols College.
We have touted this offense from FIU, but the second it seems to break down, the mistakes come through, and NC capitalize with this Nichols College Green team. They're visionaries. It seems at any moment that they can capitalize off of a mistake or open space. They certainly do, and it's good for a lead.
Now we got to see the answer back from the side of FIU. Almost saw a kickoff goal potential, and there's a great shot from Kaizinho. Puts it straight through. The defense none the wiser. Tried desperately to clear this aside was Troy. Zernite went for this perfect center somehow off the ceiling. And a great read from Kaizinho.
Yeah, I can't tell if I'm more impressed by that centering pass or just Kaizinho being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes that's all it takes to get the defense off guard.
Just gotta bounce it until you can win off those kind of crazy plays and hope that the other team is none the wiser when they go for some of these challenges. No gravity though, trying to take the lunch money of the other squad and showcase their skill on the individual one-on-one plays, but wasn't able to dribble through the rest of the team of Nichols College. If this is game one, Pyro, I feel like this is gonna be a long best of 7.
It could be. My one concern, though, is that FIU start to really play a more staunch defense. They appear to me to be the more explosive offensive team, whereas Nichols College Green, they're kind of taking advantage of mistakes. So if we see a reduction in those mistakes, maybe I see FIU taking that lead, but Nichols College, they're turning almost every opportunity into a favorable one.
Perfect setup from Ronnie as well. Took on the world and came out on top. 2 players were sent towards them, and they bullied their way through that corner to center things perfectly for Troy. And Troy, I feel like, is the position maestro for Nichols College when it comes to setting up these opportunities for them to get the 2 goals that they've gotten. But I talk about that Troy. Again, perfect positioning. No one else would have made that save.
Troy's that boy, coming up big when it's needed, but can they get this counterattack as well? No gravity on 0 boost. Able to play that in the midfield really well. Just kind of stake their claim and make sure there was no more of an advancement from Nichols College Green, but there could be off the side wall touch. Ronnie peels off the play, one play defense here. Pelosa coming in as reinforcements, gets a touch as well. There's still one more defender in the name of Troy, but no longer with the demolition. Fired shot from Zernite, ties it up.
Perfect demo opportunity, but unfortunately there's a bit of a double commit in the corner that led to this open opportunity. They expected Troy to be able to save the day. Troy was our boy, but not that time when they're demoed in the net. Tied it up 3-3, and there's already a minute remaining here, Pyro. This has been a nail-biter of a game one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm convinced now. Okay, maybe we do have a barn burner on our hands for this series, and oh boy. We might be getting closer and closer than we think to this final goal as FIU, they're knocking at that door. They're looking to crash through. Pass up the backboard. Still saved by Pelosa, the hero on the back line.
Somehow able to get there in time, but there's another shot right towards the backboard again. Great save. Dangerous at that, though. Risky, the least of it. Right off the crossbar and away from Troy to delay things just enough so FIU could not get the finish on the play, but they have full vision here from Kaizinho to get the lead yet again. But we've known, Pyro, that lead is not going to hold for too long.
No, this game's still alive, but surviving was Nichols College Green during that final minute that we've seen so far, and sometimes those defenses, they just wear thin. Well, we're gonna have to strengthen those binds and turn it around. 20 seconds to tie it back up.
Ooh, Pelosa out of position. Troy there desperately able to get to the ball in time, but gave it away a bit too soon. Ronnie was there on the challenge. I like the vision, but a bit too preemptive on that opportunity. Could have gone for a little bit of a slower play. Might have led to a tie game in an OT situation, but Kaizinho making sure that they can secure this lead, secure this game one victory. Just needs to drop down and FIU take game one. It was so close, just by a hair's thread.
So close it was. FIU standing tall in game number one, no doubt about it. We're talking game one. We're talking week one, folks, of ECAC. Like, this is
the way to start.
Best collegiate Rocket League we could ask for. Quite the start indeed. Vaudeville, do we have even that many notes for either team here? It seems like it could have swung either way.
Solid performance for the most part. I mean, you see Troy leading the charge as far as score is concerned. All the saves in the world. That defensive powerhouse is what you needed for Nichols College. It really goes to show the difference between these two squads. One, maybe a bit more defensive with Troy and Pelosa saving the day a couple times there. And Florida International, though, so many shots on their side. I think that was 17, if my math is correct, for their team in game number one. I mean, no other team that we have seen would be able to put up with that. The big thing I've noticed, too, when talking about the RLCS even in CRL, is that a lot of these teams, once they are stuck on their side and they have to play so defensive against so many shots, they can only hold up for 1 to 2 games. They can't do an entire series. So that's going to be the big thing, how Nichols College changed from game one to game two to be a bit more aggressive.
Endurance is something important, not just in any Rocket League series, but especially if it's a best of 7, right? You gotta go to distance here, so we'll see how strong this both teams, honestly, can compete as the series lengthens here. But we've got game 2 underway here. 7 goals in the last one. Who knows how many we'll get here? Why don't we start off with one? No gravity says maybe another time.
No Gravity trying to prove their worth on the defensive end this time around as well. Only had a single save, but there wasn't many shots coming out from the other side. 5 shots from Nichols College to the 17 we saw from Florida International. A bit of a gap, you could say, between those two squads of 12 shots. It's insane to think about. But a little bit uneventful in this first 30 seconds here, Pyro, in comparison to that last game. No Gravity trying to get that first goal, but no dice.
Uneventful on the scoreboard. Definitely still some close calls and maybe even closer here. Zernite, how about the flip reset goal to kick things off?
Our SSL in the lobby looking strong with the mechanics. Baits out one defender. It's basically almost like the shot that we saw from Squishy in one of the World Championships. Just waiting patiently to flip underneath someone and get that goal over top the last defender. Beautiful play to start things off.
What a throwback. It was just about the same, just the left side instead of the right. I still have that goal as a picture in my mind. Shout out Squishy. His last split he's doing here. But hey, we're trying to see if Zernite can split open this goal differential a bit more. They will this time, though, from the passing play.
Beautiful look there from the passing play, as you mentioned. This is exactly what I talked about, Pyro, from the last game into this one. Defense can only hold up for so long. As the games transition and you slow down and have those 60 seconds or a little bit less, depending on how quickly people ready up, it's so hard to continue where you left off on defense, especially when you don't have that motion going. But Ronnie with a great shot, barely saved by Kaizinho. This will be a good start for Nichols College if they could get anything going, but the defense, No Gravity, playing more defensive, I think is a good shout for FIU in this game.
Oh, but they've got to continue that and certainly do. I agree that defense needs to stand tall a little better for FIU. They're a bit vulnerable when it comes to those counterattack chances, but we've seen a couple from Nichols College Green. All of them will go away, and their chances of winning game 2 will stray further and further away with this.
Well, unfortunate to say the least for Nichols College, but that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You go for a challenge on the defensive end, you hope you can connect with it, and then you might have misread it, and you're like, oh, there's no defenders behind me, that's going to be another goal. I feel like at this point in time, down by 3 goals, with so much time remaining, objective. Take out the goalie, no grab, go for the demo, the bumper, something onto them so that you can get a goal, but here they don't even need it. They just got a perfect setup for Pelosa to get there first.
They say go for the bump, go for the demo. At this point for NC, it's go for everything. I mean, everybody is a part of that play. They're crashing the boards. They're getting whatever piece of the pie they can of the ball in front of them. Sometimes that's what it takes, but it takes more to gain their ground back in this game. 1 down, many more to go.
Oh, no. Okay, Ronnie was there. I was worried for a second. Ronnie seemed to be focusing on something else in La La Land for a moment, but they were able to take their eyes off the boost and get back towards the ball. Unfortunately, unlike Justin did in the Shotfire Belly M80 series. Nonetheless, though, off the post it goes. Great touch from Troy on the defensive end. So we talked about Troy's our boy on defense from what we saw in the last game with 7 saves, but an awkward position for the side of Nichols College. They are able to squeak by for just a moment as we're at halftime.
And that's Pelosa with the last save. And it's notable, I think, that other players are getting these saves registered instead of just Troy, right? We've seen goal after goal here for FIU to start out the game. Everybody needs to gatekeep that goal. Everyone needs to kind of put the barrier up instead of just relying on that one player. So NC Green battling away shot after shot here mid-game, looking a little better.
Solid looks across the board from NC Green, as you mentioned. With time ticking down, though, gotta think on what is on their mind, what their game plan is going to be. They don't really have much boost on offense. They've just been focusing on trying to take control of the ball away from FIU, and I think that's a solid strategy, but they gotta have something to back it up.
Well, back up the defense for FIU because it's coming on your backboard. Ronnie, a good try, but not quite there. Pelosa around Kaizinho, though. The backboard, Zernite finds a clear redirect there. Comes from No Gravity. Might have another chance on the ball. It's a high pop. Zernite, Kazino, which one wants it? How about neither? At least setting it back in the zone. Missed shot. Follow up. Pelosa, that's wide, and nobody can get the connection they want.
Zernite playing the mind game, saying, hey, I'm going to set things up for you because you're not going to expect that whatsoever, and it worked in their favor somehow. I mean, anyone else who would try that, I don't think it would, but a good defensive play again by No Gravity. So many saves to their name that aren't even credited by the score total itself. It says 3, but I've definitely counted at least 6 with the positioning that they've had with these challenges. I'm liking the difference here, but Ronnie beating out the defense so many times, but again, no boost to work with.
And to stack a few more 20s in their wallet coming to the game here. They just can't buy this goal, right? And they might not be able to buy a save, but Ronnie, the bicycle save. A good read off the backboard there from Pelosa. This defense is shaped up to be a strong exterior on the goal line, but now it's time to turn it around. Gonna have trouble doing that with the demolition. Pelosa. Oh, the game might be on your back here. Pass at the backboard. Shot there from Ronnie. It's a slow roller. Troy with the follow. That's a miss as well. And they can't get this second goal to go on target.
I'm loving these rotations on defense from the side of FIU. They know if one player is going to be taken advantage of by Ronnie's just mastermind plays, there's got to be someone there to back it up. And again, Ronnie so close so many times, but the accuracy is really what plagued the side of Nichols College on offense this game, Pyro.
Accuracy wasn't there. The chances were late in the game. In the second half, that comeback, it seemed like fate had it in store for them to make it occur. But you're right. The shots not being on target did hurt them in the end. I do want to scale back to the first half, though, Votto, because 1, 2, 3, goal after goal from FIU. It felt like the momentum had swung entirely in their favor. Credit to Nichols College Green for adapting mid-game to stop that barrage of goals.
I feel like a lot of that had to do with the demo game that we witnessed from them too, going for some of those bumps, but also just the passing plays. You mentioned it as well when we did see the one goal from Nichols College Green, that they were able to send everyone and the kitchen sink at the ball so that they could get that one goal. Didn't matter how it was going in, as long as it went in. That was the big difference maker there for them. But they did have 4 more shots in this game compared to the last one. So, again, accuracy, maybe not their strong suit, but they were focusing on at least getting more pressure. And that's exactly what we saw from them in the second half. Now we just got to see them clean things up. The rotations for that second man is going to be crucial for finishing those plays. If they could have someone there in position after Ronnie or Troy go for a crazy play, then they'll be able to look that much better in this next game. But if they can't, FIU might run away with the series.
All right, keeping an eye out for that second man, not only in the right position, but taking the right shot, getting it on target. They have made themselves go under less pressure here, Vaudible. Didn't have 17 shots registered on them, but they might in this game number 3, because it's already going against them.
Oh, gotta be unfortunate there too. Pelosa went through the initial challenge. Ronnie was a bit too far pushed up, and I've been in that position a couple of times when I've been trying desperately to support my teammates who are going forward. You expect the midfield to be safe, and there's a boomer of a clear that goes right past you. Unfortunate to say the least, and not the way they want to start out Game 3 in this best of 7, especially when they're looking to come back and don't want to have to pull off the full reverse sweep.
I know those moments you're talking about as well. That hot flash kind of hits you, and you're like, oh no, there's no one behind us here. And listen, you said you've found yourself in that situation. I have, but Nichols College Green, it's not the first time in this series they've seen themselves in that position. So it's something to clean up on. How do you clean up the mess, though, that's being left by No Gravity?
Well, this seems to be deja vu all over again, getting dunked on by No Gravity. Pelosa could not go up in time, didn't really have boost to work with, and it was so quick off the kickoff as well that they just didn't really have a plan to go with afterwards. All 3 players were in some sort of position on the goal line. They just didn't really have enough foresight to see that shot coming through. A great touch by Pelosa, but that's just going to be some opening pressure for them to try and relieve things as best they can. But FIU are looking to get their victory lap completed in this game and at least force it to them being on match point after this.
And you wonder if that victory lap is going to be expressed as confidence or as cockiness, because I'm starting to see some pre-jumps hit the table on these counters.
Yep.
And maybe Nichols College Green can make them pay for that. You know, where pre-jumps come, where those risky plays start to flourish for FIU, that's kind of your chance to take advantage of those openings, those gaps that are left behind with risky plays like that. So if Nichols College Green can sort of set up on some good plays here, then they'll get some great counter attacks. But it's tough to do with FIU stringing together so many impressive plays.
One thing we haven't mentioned here too, Pyro, is the boost composition game that we've been seeing from both these teams. From the side of FIU, they've been just guzzling it up as much as they can, taking all the boost on all four corners for the most part. And Nichols College, they've been struggling to have anything, even the small boost pads, they've been missing a couple of times here with their pathing, and that's something they need to improve upon quickly if they want to have anything to sustain themselves once they get onto offense. We've seen some decent counterattacks, but they haven't really been able to do too much with it afterwards.
Some good counterattacks, some, room for improvement on the boost pathing, but I love the path that the ball is taking when FIU is linking up with each other and against the backboard, That one almost in. NC, they get a little bit of a break there as Ronnie stretches across the field.
Okay, Ronnie.
Gets on it again, and okay, Ronnie indeed.
Ronnie, that was beautiful from you. We were waiting for some sort of play like that in the last game, went for so many different angles, so many different shots, and finally they were able to connect with what they were looking for. The defense probably could have gotten in position of it, but I don't think they were expecting Ronnie to be able to pull off that mechanical play at that time. So now within one, right at the halfway point of Game 3, this is the time to turn things up a notch for Nichols College.
Ronnie says, you better expect my game now, because I just showed you what I got. Let's see if we get more of it. Ronnie's on the ball again, doing a little dance there as he approaches the goal, trying to get an extra dribble. Touch doesn't come. Flip reset Zernite, and that ball doesn't really get the momentum that he may have been searching for. Pelosa, light clear. Caught up there by Zernite. Gets the better of the 50-50. Ball's off the backboard, and it takes two for NC to hit that one away. It seems they're playing a bit reactive here on the defense rather than setting up for the counter. And the more plays that hit near their backboard, the more dangerous it seems to get.
Close on empty, Troy on empty, Ronnie not with much to work with either, but they did get it out to the other side, and that's all that really matters here. Some great clears, though, and I think this is what FIU is focusing on defensively. Baiting out the offense of Nichols College and then getting a big clear off the backboard, off the back wall. They haven't really been able to predict that just yet, so if Nichols College can space themselves out a bit more proficiently, then they'll look a lot stronger. A good cut in towards the net, but barely able to bounce off the post.
How many plays are Nichols College Green going to get away with here, right? Because we're starting to see almost that 17-shot game again. Based on all the possession we've seen from FIU, it's just a matter of time before one of these goals go in. Ronnie trying to keep the paint closed down. He's hounding that area in front of the net to make sure those easy passes don't link up in an FIU player, but not in a situation where that could occur. Ball's off the ceiling. Zernite's there for the shot. It's put high. It's put near the crossbar, and it's saved yet again by NC. But they're not quite getting that long clear you were asking for, Vaudable.
FIU with double the amount of shots at least to Nichols College, 9-4. Maybe we'll see another one here for Ronnie, but couldn't get to the ball quick enough. Again, every single player on Nichols College on empty as they are on offense. They have to use everything to get out their side, and well, they can't do anything once they get back with Zernite on the task to get that goal.
I want to check the replay, because was this Pelosa with an in-and-out attempt? It was! This was almost a perfect save!
Oh, so close!
Yeah, got a piece of the ball. It was so well-timed. You mentioned the squishy ceiling shot. How about the squishy save to almost save the day for NC? But pixels do matter here, and we find NC once again late in game, down 1-3.
Heads-up play, but unfortunately their head was in the sand at that moment in time after the goal went right past them into the back of the net. Less than 20 seconds to go. Not really much of a chance here for Nichols College. Eyes on potential. If they could get that, they might have been able to do something, but time ticking down. They have to move on towards Game 4 and pulling off a full reverse sweep. One thing we didn't even mention here, Pyro. The side of FIU during their last season, they only dropped 3 total games and won every single series. So taking the game against them, that'd be a huge boon for the side of Nichols College, but it's going to be an uphill battle in this next one.
Certainly is. Asking for a reverse sweep here is gonna be a lot. Now, you know, we know the success that Nichols College Green can bring to the table, but as you mentioned, it can be a tall order to do it against this FIU squad who doesn't seem to lose a whole lot, if at all. But you know, let's talk a little bit about the late game this time, because while we talked about, you know, hey, Nichols College Green, you kind of just need your possession. You kind of just need your chances on the other side of the field. I would agree. It's not just on the counterattacks, but it's on the pressure as well. If you notice in the last 10 seconds, they had a free look because FIU bumped each other. It was a team bump. There was no one to defend the ball, but NC Green couldn't get there in time. So those chances, Vaudeville, they're there.
I don't know. I mean, the chances are there, but when it's such a high pressure situation, it's the first series of the season and all eyes are on you. You maybe didn't even have too much of a warm up because I'm calling out FIU. They took some time to get into the lobby here. But, you know, even with that, there was plenty of time for Nichols College to get going. In game one, they looked pretty solid for the most part, but I talked about this, Pyro. You can only defend for so long in a series, and that's not going to hold up throughout the rest of a best of seven, and that's exactly what we saw. No Gravity, the main star of the show, for getting those first goals, and if they can do something to bump and demo and take them out of the equation in this first minute and get that opening goal, then they'll have a chance at least getting a game and going from then on out. But they got to take it a game at a time. They got to take it 5 minutes at a time here, at least in regulation, and see if they can do something to get the lead early.
Key terms there, opening goal and getting the lead early. I think the tone setter, I agree, is incredibly important here in game number 4. FIU have had that tone setter again and again, and actually haven't trailed at all in this series. How about a tone setter like this? Zernite, a meteor strike that just knocks off the crossbar.
Luckily, there was some gravity that time, so it would go away and crash into a different planet, but still, opening 30 seconds, dangerous as always for the Nichols College defense, as Zernite with plenty of shots, plenty of pressure, and no gravity, switching to the battle bus.
Oh, yeah.
Disrespect coming out here, but you can also tell that they're having a bit of fun with it.
They are. No Gravity has earned his flexibility, I think, in this game, given the performance that we've seen. We'll see if it slacks at all, or maybe if we get the battle bus buff. Meanwhile, how about an open look for Kaizinho? He was able to take a pit stop there before slicing in the first shot.
Kaizinho ending their own goal drought since game number 1. They had the most goals in that game for their team, 2 at that, where everyone else at least had 1. But even since then, no Gravity, as we were talking about, had at least a goal per game up to this 4th and potential final game. So makes sense the confidence is coming out in loads. Every single opening minute we have seen a goal from FIU, and it's not stopping in this one.
No, not whatsoever. Game 4, not much different than the last games, but Troy, they be that difference maker as they have been early on this series. Ball gets right out to Pelosa. 3 defenders kind of crawling around the backboard to get that one away. And Ronnie not able to get to the 50-50, so that's going to allow the possession to run dry. 2 demolitions, though. Good surge of momentum back in favor for Nichols College Green, but Pelosa, no pass to the infield.
No pass, no boost, no chances for a center, unfortunately, on that play. A great read, though, by Zernite. It was a little bit closer towards the net. Would have been dangerous for a potential second goal for FIU, but we gotta thank the bus driver a couple times here on defense for FIU in those opening salvos that we did see from Nichols College. A lot of great chances, a lot of great setups from their side on offense, but still not really enough to break past the stalwart wall that seems to have formed so quickly throughout this series.
That wall, difficult to break through. Those bricks, tough to knock down, but it's still a 1-point game. There's only 1 brick, maybe, that needs to be laid back to the ground so they can tie this game up. Maybe start this major swing in momentum. Ronnie, we've seen the solo plays before. Tries pulling it off again near the ceiling, but it gets cut off early. There's Pelosa with a follow, trying to get that redemption shot going. Saved as well. Goal line tendencies from FIU remain strong, remain confident. And Zernite, look at that 3rd man positioning, hovering around the midfield line to make sure that NC don't run away with a counterattack or a goal like that.
Solid opportunities here. A good demo on the net, but no Gravity. Who else is going to be there to step up when their team needs them to for FIU? You can see why this team dominated their specific division for ECAC before and why they only dropped 3 individual games throughout that entire semester. Nonetheless, though, FIU, they are no strangers to pressure, and whenever it's taken to them, they send it right back into the face of their enemies, and no gravity with a flip reset. Just taking this the distance, nobody is going to contest them here.
Love this look for no gravity. They actually had a double tap chance and just missed the angle earlier because really the car was not long enough. Genuinely. I think that's why they didn't get the right angle. So this time no gravity says, no, I'm going to get my chance on the battle bus. Does it? So does Zernite with the read on the save there against Troy. How about this FIU defense and the way they're able to read the incoming shots, redirect it there defensively? I mean, how tough is it to break through past FIU?
It seems impossible in this fourth game. They are trying to put the final nail in the coffin with a nail gun, not just with a hammer. And that seems to be working out well enough for them. 2 goals with the lead. Plenty of time remaining just to hold on to it. But Nichols College, they have just been suffocated every time they try to get some room to work with on offense. And Troy, even then, had some room themselves, but it was ripped away by the defense, challenging on every single opportunity that Nichols College Green have had this series. And it just goes to show how much it's been difficult for them in this individual game. Might be a chance for a go-home goal, a consolation prize for Nichols College in this game, but it doesn't look like there's any chance for a win, at least in these last couple seconds.
Doesn't look like there's a chance, but sometimes you've got to believe. Ronnie, reset play. Maybe it is all on Ronnie. Troy was that stalwart defender, but Ronnie was the big solo play hero. Feed the ball to the beast. Pelosa has got it along with the midfield boost, but that's Ronnie that has to play it now. The back corner gets that pass off, but Zernite well positioned to cut it away. Troy past that defender of no gravity. Ball's free in the corner. And Pelosa, midfield pass. Is anybody there? Troy, riding around, but can't get to it. Pelosa back to the corner. Troy with a shot that needs there it goes. And that's going to be it. NC Green riding on the last hope.
One final chance, one final kickoff for Nichols College Green to grasp victory with their hands, or at least an overtime situation if they can get it. But we haven't seen anything yet of that capacity from this team. Does go the perfect direction for Pelosa after they give it off to the other side. They're trying to go for the center. They're trying to go for the bump, but they can't get anything. Grasping at straws, and they have buttery fingers as it goes the other direction, and FIU take the victory in stride 4-0 in their opening series of the season.
Credit to the last glimmer of hope we saw there for Nichols College Green. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, Vaudable. No matter the score, no matter the clock, there seems to always be that chance. A lot of times that's what these collegiate matchups are made of, these dreams, these stories. But dream is a little bit dead here for week number 1 for Nichols College Green. That is a sweep. That is a commanding victory for FIU. Vaudable, a team that had momentum coming into the spring season and appears to be keeping that rolling.
I mean, what was it, 15 shots in the first game? Just thinking about 17, that is 17, even more so than that. They were starting out strong and firing on all cylinders, and that's what you want to see from a team that dominated their division, moved into this new playing field, and now they have some tough contenders that are out there. I mean, there's Wichita, there's Weber, there's so many different teams in their specific division that I am excited for this FIU team to face off against and see who's going to come out on top, who's going to make it to the playoffs and move on from there, potentially to qualify for one of those LAN events too. So that's going to be crazy to see how it progresses. But Nichols College, they got to go back to the drawing board, see what worked out in game 1, and iterate on that. They got some good goals, they got some good pressure. It just didn't seem to be enough towards the end of that series.
Get some of that endurance that you were talking about as well, Vaudable. The things that worked in game 1, inject that to the rest of the series. And what you got left as well in the rest of the season. Folks, there's a lot of the seasons still left. This was just week 1 of ECAC Rocket League that we're broadcasting here. FIU getting the sweep win, of course, over Nichols College Green here tonight. But more action still to be had as these round robin appearances will continue in these groups of 8. A lot of teams, a lot of matches still to be had. If you want to stay tuned for more action here on Esports U, we've got an ECC Valorant matchup tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That is Utica University Blue versus the New York Institute of Technology Yellow. So I myself Vaudable, am addicted to Valorant. And, you know.
I like it too. It's pretty good.
Whether it's watching, playing, or casting. So I know personally I'm really interested in that. But folks, that's for tomorrow. For today, thank you so much for tuning in to the Rocket League action. My name's been Pyro J. This is Vaudable to my side. We got Colton and Leighton in the background making things look pretty.
Shout out.
And folks, for the Esports U team, we will see you tomorrow.